Have you ever dropped an anchor and just assumed it digs into the seabed like a giant pickaxe, holding your boat in place through sheer brute force? Well, what if I told you that's not really how it works? For most anchors, digging in is only half the story. The real magic, the secret sauce that keeps a massive ship from drifting away, is something you might have never even considered. Today, we're diving deep, literally, to uncover the surprising physics behind how anchors actually work. It's a tale of weight, angles, and something called catenary. Trust me, by the end of this, you'll never look at that chunk of metal on the bow the same way again. First, let's bust that pickaxe myth. While some anchor designs, like the plow or claw anchor, are specifically shaped to dig into the seabed, their ability to bite is just the starting point. If the chain, or rode, pulled straight up from the anchor, even the best dug-in anchor would pop right out with a surprisingly small amount of force. The secret isn't pulling up, it's pulling sideways. This is where the anchor rode comes into play. The rode isn't just a rope or chain connecting your boat to the anchor, it's a critical part of the system. The key is to have enough of it. A rule of thumb for boaters is to let out a length of rode that's at least 5 to 7 times the depth of the water. So, if you're in 30 feet of water, you'd want to let out at least 150 to 210 feet of chain. This is called the scope. Why so much? This is where the catenary effect begins. Catenary is just a fancy word for the curve that a flexible chain or rope forms when it's supported only at its ends. Think of a telephone wire sagging between 2 poles. That sag is a catenary curve. When you let out enough anchor chain, its sheer weight causes it to sag and lie along the seabed for a significant distance from the anchor. Now, when wind or current pushes your boat, the force isn't pulling upwards on the anchor. Instead, it pulls horizontally along the seabed, dragging the chain first. This horizontal pull is exactly what the anchor is designed for. It drives the flukes, the pointy parts, deeper into the sand, mud, or gravel, increasing its holding power exponentially. The anchor isn't being lifted, it's being buried even more securely. The weight of the chain itself also acts as a fantastic shock absorber. Imagine a sudden gust of wind hits your boat, and instead of that sudden jerk being transferred directly to the anchor, it first has to lift a heavy section of the chain off the seabed. This action dampens the force, absorbing the shock and preventing the anchor from being violently yanked out of its position. It's like having a giant, heavy spring in your anchor system. The heavier the rode, like an all-chain setup, the better this shock absorption, and the more effective the catenary. So, let's visualize it. You've got your boat on the surface. The anchor rode slopes down, but a good portion of it is lying flat on the ocean floor before it even reaches the anchor. The force from the boat is pulling horizontally on the shank of the anchor, which in turn drives the flukes deeper into the ground. It's a beautifully simple yet incredibly effective system. This is why experienced sailors are so obsessed with scope. If you don't let out enough rode, say a 3-to-1 scope instead of a 7-to-1, the angle of pull on the anchor becomes too steep. As the boat moves, the pull becomes more vertical, and eventually, it will lift the anchor's shank, break it free from the bottom, and you'll start dragging. The catenary effect is lost, and the system fails. Of course, not all anchors are the same. A traditional fisherman's anchor, with its 2 arms, is designed to hook onto rocks, and it relies less on being buried. But for the vast majority of modern pleasure boats using fluke, plow, or claw anchors, it's all about that horizontal pull. Even lightweight anchors, like the aluminum Danforth-style anchors popular on smaller boats, work on this same principle. They don't have much weight themselves, but their large flukes are designed to create immense holding power as long as the pull remains horizontal. And what happens when it's time to leave? How do you get it up if it's buried so deeply? You simply motor your boat directly over the anchor's position. As you move forward, the angle of the rode changes from horizontal to vertical. Now you're pulling straight up. This vertical lift is exactly what the anchor isn't designed to resist. The shank lifts, the flukes pivot out of the seabed, and the anchor breaks free easily. You've just reversed the entire process. So the next time you see a boat at anchor, Look at the gentle curve of its anchor line, disappearing into the water. You're not just looking at a rope. You're seeing the catenary effect in action. You're seeing a system where the weight of the chain and the angle of pull are working in perfect harmony to turn a simple piece of metal into an incredibly powerful braking system. It's not about brute force digging. It's about clever physics. The anchor is just a hook, but the chain is the genius that tells the hook how to hold on for dear life. It's the unsung hero of staying put, ensuring that sailors can sleep soundly at night, knowing that a simple curve in a chain is keeping them safe and secure. Isn't that fascinating? A fundamental piece of technology that's been around for thousands of years, and its true genius lies not in the anchor itself, but in the heavy, sagging line attached to it. I hope this gave you a new appreciation for the humble anchor. If you found this interesting, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the world around us. Let me know in the comments if you've ever had an anchor drag or if you have any other maritime mysteries you'd like us to explore. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.